Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is from the Mother Peace Tarot card deck. And it is the Daughter of Discs, which I equate to the Princess of Discs. Okay. Now let's take a look at what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell, and it'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. Immediately, I'm seeing a large ram. Is it a ram or an ibis? Is that what they're called? Oh, this beautiful long horn right here. Okay, so something akin to a goat or a ram. We'll come back to that. But it is a beautiful image. Oh, and now we have a squirrel. We have Godzilla. Our squirrel is right here with its tail. We have the number 3 right here. We have a 2 and a most beloved sigil of some kind. So 2, 3. Okay. So let's start with this beautiful babe right here. And so we have the goat. We have the goat, we have the ram, we have this beautiful and virile and withstanding and clever and agile being. I feel like this is maybe actually somebody who is in your life. I don't know that you are actually romantically entangled with them, but I feel like this is somebody who there is a sense of great adoration between the two of you. Now, it could be that this is a spouse or somebody who, is a beloved or a lover of some kind. But I think the important part is that this person really would do anything for you. I feel that they are devoted to you deeply and endlessly. I see a lot of 2s and 3s really kind of coming together here. With this, we have another 2 here and a 3 here. So there really are these repeating 2s and 3s. It seems to me that there's a feeling of, I almost wonder, this person watches you as you speak. I mean, they really are so captivated by you. But it's not just that they're in awe. They like to hear what you have to say. I mean, they really take it in. And this is something that is so rare in life. And as you get older, you begin to really, really understand this. I think when you're younger, you just, you're put in all these very social situations with school and activities and, the neighborhood kids and whatever. And people take interest in one another. And you just think it's always going to be that way, right? And it's not. It really is not, unless, I don't know, maybe it is for some people. For myself, I do not perceive life to be, easily, kind of knowing people socially or really personally, a couple here and there, but it really is. And when it's somebody who really, really takes the time to listen to what you have to say, to think about it, right? To come up with, thoughtful ways of engaging with you, of being open and, just a person who you feel comfortable and trust. That is rare. Hello, T. Okay, she's off. Last night, let me just tell you this. Last night, this kitty cat, she pulled the whole whole tablecloth over everything. So if you want to see that, it's in the middle of the Gemini reading. She is just something, I have to tell you. All right, so now we have the squirrel. So we are really definitely coming into a place where there's some nesting going on. Some, really kind of building up your resources. I think that you're probably focused on kind of making some money and putting it away. Maybe investing it, maybe putting it in savings, whatever it is. Really, and if this is a difficult time, which it is for a lot of us, right? You're not alone in that, definitely. This is a place where sometimes we're just trying to pay our bills, get through the freaking month, get everything paid on time or close to as we can. And the idea of being able to put away anything into savings is kind of, laughable. And I understand that 150 million %. But, I think that this will be a time where you really are starting to come back into the mind space where it's like, okay, now I got to really kind of find some kind of gig or side thing or doing something that I care about as kind of a hobby turned into something that maybe will make some money for you. And if this is not monetary, maybe this is about volunteering, right? Finding some kind of emotional, spiritual resources and doing some kind of outreach work. But whatever it is, okay, I think that this really is a moment in your life where you are, you're there, you're thinking like, I gotta figure out a way to stack some coins here back in the tree, put my nuts in the tree or whatever, pack it full. We have a tree that's kind of partway cavernous and some of the squirrels live in there. So I always imagine, because I feed them, that they have the last couple of years at least of that tree just filled to the brim with peanuts that they've been saving for a rainy day. And so I hope to be like that myself someday, right? But I think that this is in the consciousness, really thinking about making some efforts forward in this part of your life. Now, we also have a 9 and a 0. So we have a lot of the 2s and the 3s. Now I'm seeing a 9 and a 0. So that might be important as well. Let's see. Oh, yes, the Godzilla. I want to talk about that. Okay, so I'm seeing the Godzilla right here. Okay. I'm also seeing that we have maybe a crawdad or a crab or a lobster of some kind. So we know that in the Moon Tarot card that there is a crawdad in the water, right? And from what I've read, from my investigations. This is a symbol of melancholy. Yeah. Kind of the sadness of the night, right? That pang of just, I don't know, hopelessness. I don't know what it is. For me, it manifests as like deep anxiety at like 4 a.m. I wake up, I'm like, well, maybe like 3, because 4, I'm like, oh no, I only get to sleep for a little bit longer. I have to hurry back to sleep. But if it's like 3, then it's like the clarity of the universe really does hit my mind, and I'm like thinking about every little thing that can go wrong with whatever I have coming up that day, or whatever it is. And so that's kind of what I equate that pesky little crawdad to. But so we have this, and I think that there has been kind of a building up of maybe some feeling a little bit powerless about something in your life. This could be about the financials, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. There is just kind of a general sense of maybe, the blues a little bit. If you maybe have, kind of a, what is the word? I guess just maybe you have some of the seasonal affective disorder or something like this. Obviously, I'm not a doctor or therapist or anything important. So, I'm just kind of guessing here at things. But, definitely just feeling a little bit more sluggish, I would say. Maybe a little bit more ornery at times. Maybe even coming into being quite angry. And this Godzilla, this is that something goes wrong, and then another little thing goes wrong, and then next thing you know, it's just all spilling over. It's absolute chaos, and you are ready to tear the wall down, right? I mean, it's just, and so I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to challenge you to, let's think about some mindfulness stuff, right? Now, listen, I'm in the middle of a blizzard as I am recording this. You can see I have my big fuzzy jacket on, even though I'm inside. The sound of the wind makes me cold. It will be negative 30 tomorrow at times. So, negative 30 Fahrenheit, I should say, which is pretty cold. So, anyways, I think doing some mindfulness stuff, finding what works for you that can help with grounding, coming into your center. Okay, we talk about the body scan sometimes. I like this one because you sit, you close your eyes, you think about your body. You start at the top of your head and you think, okay, here's my head, the top of my head. My head, what does it feel like? Like, what is the sensation? Does it hurt? Does it feel... Okay, next I'm going to be moving at my forehead, my temples, my eyes, my nose, my cheekies, my ears, the outside of my ear, the inside of my ear. Okay, and then you go through the whole body, and it brings you so much into yourself, and it feels tedious maybe at first. When I first started doing it, I was like, this is worse. Somehow this is worse. I don't want to go through every body part. I don't want to do that. But when I allowed myself to just sink into it, to really just be there, make no judgment about what I'm doing, how it, if my big thing is I'm wasting my time. This is a waste of time. This is silly. I don't like this. It's the internal dialogue. It's just totally trying to stomp on this thing that I'm trying to do. And so, I just see my way through it, and I continue to do it whenever I'm feeling, like I'm getting into maybe like depersonalization, disassociation, anger. You know, TT, come over here. I don't trust you tonight. I'm sorry. I love you though, dearly. So anyways, you know, and just kind of going through the motions of it, doing it. And now it feels like quite a privilege when I have the moment to do it. It does. It stops me from going into just fully, you know, mentally melting down, having a panic attack. Often I get this feeling where when I'm in the state, you know, the heightened state of overstimulation, anxiety, my hands will start itching. And I'm just itch, you know. And so this has really helped to kind of bring all that stuff way down, a lot of notches, all the way down. Very grounding. Now, other things that we have talked about, and these are things that, you know, you can learn in any kind of mindfulness booklet or on the internet. Things also like stimming or self-soothing, you know, positive kind of distractions. But a big one too is water. Okay, going into water, taking a bath, taking a shower. If you're really having a meltdown over, you know, overstimulation, like I never understood this in my life until I got older. I was probably like 30 years old when I started to understand, you know, these aspects of being a neurodivergent person, which I had no idea I was. I just, you know, I got diagnosed late. But, you know, going into the water, if you're starting to feel overstimulated, you know, having kind of a warm water, not too hot, or even cold, if you're starting to get into those anger, rage, feeling like you want to lash out, or you're talking really negatively to yourself, you know, kind of shocking your system and restarting. Okay. The other part is when you're feeling like you're sinking, right? I had this happen the other day, and I think it was, you know, hormonal and also being sleep deprived and just getting over all these sicknesses we've had. And I woke up and I knew this is going to be a dysregulated day for me. I'm going to have some difficulties here. So taking a nice, warm, hot shower can help with this. It's not going to fix it necessarily, but it is, you know, it is something that really it gets you into that core of yourself, right? It is something that maybe eases some of the stress and the, you know, tight muscles, and you are able to kind of just breathe in some of those vapors, and that is helpful as well. And so these are, you know, two ideas, right? Body scan and using water or temperature. I mean, it could be temperature. For me here the other thing, it's so cold here. If I just step outside, it's like I can't think of anything else but the fact that I'm freezing. So if I'm angry, I'm out there for like a minute, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I run back inside and I get warm, and I've already forgotten. I've already forgotten that I was not feeling too happy a few minutes ago. Okay, let's see. We have 2 more 2s. It is a night of 2s. All over the place. This bonus Sagittarius reading is full of 2s. My Aquarius reading had 2s. All right. So we have a little owl. We have the Witness, the Wise One, we have, it looks like maybe 1, 1, 1, 2. But we also have an arrow. We have a person who's kind of wrapped in a blanket in a seated position. We have maybe a duck there, or a crown. Okay, so I feel like there really is there's an instinct to I feel that there is an instinct to kind of be by self, right? I feel like there's a sense of being a little bit quieter lately, watching things happen. Okay. I also feel like there seems to be this turn toward, and it's very prominent for you, I think, a turn towards the sacred, maybe. And I'm looking at this, it looks like an altar with a pyre on it, okay, and a person kind of standing before it. And so, in some religions, in some of the mysteries, there are pyres, which is a kind of like you could think of like a fire, a little, what is it called? Like a fire pit kind of thing. It's usually, sometimes it's like on an ornate, like stone or, whatever. But this was kind of the embodiment of spirit, right? This is the fire element and the embodiment of spirit. We also have the fire element here with the triangle. So I feel like there really is a sense of, if you could imagine going into a temple, in this ancient temple, and in the middle of one of the main halls, right? There is a large fire burning. Okay, and maybe this is in one of the back rooms. They would have these, the monks' chambers or cellas, and this is for only the initiated, like the high priestess, and they would have these kind of eternally burning fires, and it was the embodiment of the Shekinah, or the spirit, right? And you can imagine sitting there and gazing into it, as we do, right? If you've been camping and you've had a fire, you kind of just sit there and look into it, which is awesome, just hanging out looking at the fire. But so I can imagine there is a sense of performing whatever kind of ritual, if you are in a religious system or sect or denomination or whatever, and you partake in those rituals, if this is something that you do kind of within a magical system socially, or if you're a solitary practitioner, I can feel there really is this urge that comes up, like I feel, that I need to do this. I want to do this. And if it is kind of the beginning of this journey, sometimes it can feel kind of silly. I mean, this is what held me back for so long. And sometimes even still, I'm kind of like, I don't know about this. But almost like I was role playing. Like, I have these things, I have kind of visions, I see things that I feel moved to do, right? One of the early ones that I kind of toiled with was I would take little bottles and I would fill them with prayers and appeals and kind of devotional poems and things to my personal intelligences and divine affiliations, and then I would go out at night. I'd go out late at night. This is way before I had a kid, right? And there was a particular tree in this beautiful wooded area that I lived next to, and I would go and I would bury them there. I would bury them there, and I would leave them for a cycle, however long, and then I would go back and get them And I did not litter, okay? I didn't litter. But, you know, and it felt strange because I'm like, where does this come from? I don't know. I've never read about this necessarily. You know, maybe things akin to it, but it just was something I would have dreams about. It was something that came up in my visions, and I felt this profound pull, right, to go and do these things. And I finally started doing it, and I felt, oh, this is kind of silly, you know. I feel like it, like as a child would, right? And then I thought, you know what, that's not a bad thing, right? I'm just gonna do these. If I'm doing things that don't harm anybody or anything, right? Maybe it's okay, you know. And so anyways, this is how so many of my own personal practices and rituals kind of emerged, is that we just go through these periods of time where we're really drawn to interacting with spirit. We're really it's just something that kind of tickles the mind. It tickles the heart. It really, you know, it becomes more and more of like this. It's not even just like a desire to, it is a necessity to, right? And so, you know, I think if it is within, you know, reasonable practice, if this is something that, you know, is, spiritually aligned with you, and something that, you know, I can imagine you're on this journey, you're experiencing things that are, you know, so potent, then yeah, let yourself do that. You know, that's another rarity in life, really. You know, I'm always amazed that not everybody's living their life like this. Like some eccentric, you know, forest monk or whatever. You know, but it's true. You know, some people aren't. And for those of us who have those impulses, it is a blessing. It truly, truly is. Okay, so let's take a look. We have the Mary Magdalene Oracle by Megan Watterson and illustrations by Moonjube, which I love that name. That I have to look up that artist. I keep thinking I want to, because these cards are gorgeous. Okay, and we're just gonna go through here and stop where it feels right. And these are kind of oracle cards. I have been using affirmation cards, but these are oracle cards, a little different, but I absolutely love them. It says, resurrect in this life. Resurrection, the ego dies and the soul rises. Okay, and they're so beautiful. They're kind of like a collage, these cards. Let's do one more. I want to do one more. I don't really look at all the cards before I use them. I just kind of get the vibe and I'm like, yes. This one says, the fourth power. I am beloved. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Thank you for letting me do this bonus reading for you. It is always such an honor to be able to do so. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. It is one of the great pleasures of my life. It really is. Unless they're really mean, which usually very rarely are they. But yeah, I do love reading the things about your lives and things you're thinking about and your kind words. And, you know, if you ever you want prayer for your situation, please put it in the comments. We do a lot of praying around this house. We really believe in the power of prayer. So, other than that, What else? I don't shout out my husband's channel as much as I should. If you are interested in tarot readings as well, you probably already know him. His name is Paul. He's from Devon Serpent Tarot. Go check him out. Give him a subscribe and a like and a view and a comment or whatever. He is a most lovely being. And I am very lucky to know him. So, anyways, I love you. Take care of yourself. Stay warm, stay cool, stay safe. And we will talk in just a few days here. All right. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.